What's going on, guys? You well here, and welcome to Confabulate, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. I'm your host, Hugo Sanchez. Thank you so much for stopping by. And today, guys, we have Nicky Jimenez here. Thank you so much, Nicky, for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. You're a great friend, and yeah, I'm excited. Oh, and my son says hi, too.
Hello, Junior. The first thing I wanted to mention is I've known you for a long time since high school, and I remember I've always loved your personality. I feel like you were always like out of the box and just funny and very caring and stuff like that. So I just want to say thank you for just being a good friend and for being a good supporter all these years, because you're one of the few people who, especially with my YouTube channel, like you've always had nice things to say about my singing, my TikToks, my videos. And I just want to start off by saying thank you for being so supportive all these years.
Of course. I mean, it's so easy to support somebody who you can see they have a great passion for what they're doing. And I'm just really proud of you. So you've come a long way.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. And I also remember you in cross country. Hugo was in cross country too. I know Hugo's listening. I want to say Hugo's literally the reason why I joined cross country. I remember I was a freshman and I remember the first day being with Hugo, and then he introduced me to Andrew. So Hugo's like the reason why Andrew is like still like a part of my life. Andrew's like my best friend, my brother. The brother I never wanted, but the brother that I have. So he's my brother. So I owe a lot to Hugo for not only me being cross country for 4 years, but also, knowing Andrew too. I wanted to ask you about cross country. Do you have any like memories from cross country?
Honestly, I was so bad at cross country, but I remember that I just remember that everybody got along so well, and it was like, I don't know, it was like a little community of people within our high school, and I remember it was mainly Hugo's deal. I'm not even gonna lie. He was like, all right, come on, like, let's do cross country, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm not a runner, and it was a good thing in the long run. It was a good thing. You meet great people. Well, I already knew all you guys, but like I got to know you guys on a personal level, or got to know more people. And it's like, I feel like it's a great team building experience because it's so fun cheering people on. Like, come on, Yoel, you're almost there. It was just really fun.
Yeah. How long did you do cross country? I don't remember.
I think I did it only my junior and senior year. For junior year, I think I did it for like, I'm not even going to lie, I think I only went to a couple races, and then senior year, I was really all in.
Oh, nice. That's super cool. Did you ever do like any other sports in high school, or was it just that?
No, I am not a sporty person at all. I'm not a sporty person.
What about like any clubs and stuff like that in school?
I was in band. I played saxophone, but I was really mediocre at that too. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not a very extracurricular person. Yeah.
Did you ever go to China with the band?
No, I didn't, because, okay, so my dad was like, I don't want you going to a foreign country, and he was just really, like, against it. He was really worried about me, and he, like, would read all these, like, stories about, like, bad things happening in China. He's like, I don't want that to happen to you. So, for my dad's heart's sake, I didn't go. He's like, I'll take you to China myself.
That's super cool. I also want to talk about AP English because I have vivid memories of you and I in Miss Foreman's class. That was like such I don't even want to say stressful class, but it was like I don't even know how to explain it. But I do remember you.
So fast.
So fast?
It was such a fast-paced class. I'll say that, yeah.
Fast paced, but I do remember you, and I think we did like a thing one time, and like you and I we were in the same like group or whatever, but we were doing like a teamwork thingy, like right. Oh, we were grading each other's UC essays.
Oh my gosh, Yoel, I was talking about that with Hugo yesterday, and you were in the group, I'm pretty sure. And I think we got Hugo's paper, and we like gave him a really bad score. And I was just bringing it up to him. So yes, I think you're right. I do remember that.
What a crazy class. But I want to ask you, because I feel like out of everyone that I graduated with, you've had like a crazy life. Like you've really like done a lot. Like your life has like changed tremendously since you graduated. I first want to ask you like what were your goals first when you graduating when you graduated? What were your goals? Like I know you went to the I don't want to say anything wrong. I don't want to say army and military. You could correct me on like what were your first goals?
No, it's fine. So I graduated and then I joined the Air Force. I was like so like into it, like oh my gosh, like I'm in the military because both my parents were Air Force, so I really wanted to do it too.
And the Air Force and so how was that like at first when as soon as you started in the Air Force?
So at first, so I had been wanting to join the Air Force ever since I was really little because, like I said, both my parents did it. So it was just natural for me to do it after high school. And once that time actually came, I felt so like ready, and I got there, right? And it's a crazy experience. The boot camp, oh my gosh. I have a lot of crazy stories, but it was so different being in like a dorm with a bunch of girls, and you have to shower with them, eat with them. It got really catty. There was like, I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of racism going on too.
Oh wow.
They told me they're like, so my last name was DeFries, now it's Jimenez, but before I married Hugo, it was DeFries. They were like, DeFries she's speaking Spanish with the other Mexican girls, and she's like trying to like talk about us in Spanish, and they tried to get me in trouble, and I told my the military instructor, I was like, I don't even speak Spanish, I don't know what they're talking about. Well, I sound like a white girl when I speak it, and so they were like, racism will not stand, blah blah blah, and they got all those girls in trouble. But I just remember that I never experienced something like that. I feel like we Latinos have it very like good in a community where we're all together. You know what I mean? Like North County is just very Latino, like very Mexican. Mexican culture is very strong in California, and some people are from like Arkansas, and they've never seen I feel like they've never seen a Mexican before, and they definitely showed it with how they acted. Yeah, it was just crazy. All these different people. But sorry, I'm getting like off track. But I eventually graduated, and then they sent me to a tech school, and that was for cyber surety, so like computer intelligence and stuff like that. And I was supposed to be there for 2 months, but a bunch of crazy stuff happened where my classes got canceled. I ended up, my appendix almost ruptured, and I had to take like a month to recover from that, and everything was just so delayed, and I eventually ended up getting a different job because of it.
Oh, how did you hurt your appendix?
Okay, so I was in Mississippi at the time, and there was no Mexican, like no good Mexican food, Mexican candy, nothing. So my mom, she sent me a package of like just tons of different dulces, right? Like she sent me like the you know the Lucas?
I do.
They're like gummies. Yeah, okay. She sent me a package of those, and I ate them all in like one day. I ate them all, and I was like, oh, my stomach hurts. And my roommate, she was like, it's probably because of all those Mexican candies you ate. And I was like, no way, I've been doing that since I was little, and it's probably just cramps or something. So it's like 2 a.m, and my roommate hears me groaning in like my sleep, and she's like, all right, get up, we're going to the hospital. So she takes me to the hospital, and they're like, oh my gosh, you were like minutes away from your appendix rupturing. So I'm pretty grateful for my roommate. But yeah, that was crazy. And not only did it like my appendix, it was about to rupture, it was intertwined. Okay, this is kind of TMI, but it was intertwined with my intestines. So they said they'd never seen like an appendix like intertwined with someone's intestine. So, okay, TMI. They had to like remove my organs to get it back and like put my organs back in just for like what's usually a really easy surgery. So
What?
I feel like that's why my recovery was so long.
That is crazy. Remove your organs and then put them. Oh my god. God. I also wanted to ask you, have you been in Guam? Well, obviously not because you mentioned Mississippi, but have you been able to travel to like other places? Because I would assume you've been in Guam ever since like 2018, but I'm assuming you've been to other places too, right?
So, I've only, because of the military, I've only been to Texas, Mississippi, then they sent me back to Texas, and now I've been in Guam for 2 years. So I got here in 2019. So, yeah, it's the 2-year anniversary of me being in Guam was like last week, I think. So, I've been here for 2 years.
So Katie James is gonna kill me if I don't ask you this question. She wants to know what is like a day for you. Like how does Nikki go by her day as soon as she wakes up to as soon as you go to bed? Like what do you do throughout your day?
Okay, so I have 2 different kinds of days. I have days where Hugo is at work, and on those days I'm watching Junior. It's just me and him. He heard me. He thought I called him over here. But when it's me and him, it's usually just a mommy and son day. But on days where Hugo does have off, which he has 4 days off a week, which is like super cool. Like today, we hang out in the morning, maybe watch some movies while making breakfast, and then after our interview, we're gonna go to the beach. And right now, I'm doing some. Okay, I don't want to sound like all like, oh my gosh, look at me or whatever. But there's some local photographers here, and they asked me to like model for them, like swimsuit model, fashion models, like fashion modeling, like for clothes and stuff. So I've been doing that. So later today, we're gonna go down to the beach and take some pictures. Usually our days aren't as eventful. Usually we're at home eating snacks, watching movies. And mostly because of COVID, the typical COVID day.
Yeah. That was actually one of the things I wanted to ask you later on, but I'll ask you now about the modeling thing. Like, how did that happen? Like, how did that start?
Okay, so I'm going to have to rewind back up a little bit. So when we were talking about the military, I didn't mention, but I was in the military. I'm out now. I haven't really been vocal about it, but it was really difficult to talk about because it was something that I wanted so bad. But so I was cybersecurity. I was supposed to be working on computer intel and stuff like that. I got a different job as medical, and I was really good at it. I was the person who draws people's blood and looks under the microscope for stuff under it. And I was doing that for a while. And then Hugo and I had met up for Christmas in 2018, and I did end up getting pregnant, and I didn't realize it until I went back to work, and I did have a miscarriage, and it took a really big toll on me. I just kind of I went through this crazy depressive episode in my life. Hugo was already in Guam. They had sent him to Guam, and they sent me to Texas, so we were away from each other, and things were just really difficult, and I just kind of lost it emotionally. I talked to my leadership about it, and they're like, we think you should get out. This isn't a good place for you mentally, and we can see that. So I did get out. I got the help that I needed. I got the mental help I needed through the VA, and I'm doing a lot better. And I am sad that I'm not in the military anymore, but I'm a lot happier. My life is so much better because of it. And they're going to pay for my schooling, which is so awesome. It's just, I have to wait till, COVID calms down so my son can go back to daycare. But that has nothing to do with modeling. But I just needed to throw out there that I'm not in the military anymore. So I have a lot of free time. But no, for the modeling thing, some local photographers found my Instagram and they were like, "Hey, are you located in Guam? How long will you be here?" Because they probably thought I was like military, like, and that I'm not going to be here very long. But I told them that I'm not military. I'm a military spouse, and we're going to live here for a couple of years. And they were like, "Oh, that's so awesome! Like, would you mind modeling?" Doing some model shoots for us, just some like amateur stuff. They pay for like my outfits, my hair, makeup, and then until I can like get a deal with like a company, then they'll like pay me like more. But that's how the modeling thing kind of happened.
Wow, super cool. That's so wow. That's really nice. That's super cool. And I wanted to go back a bit because I had no idea about your miscarriage. I just want to say I'm very sorry. Like I can't even imagine like what that feels like, and I'm very sorry. Like I had no idea. Like wow. But it's like one of those things like obviously I can't speak on it, but a lot of people go through that. Like I know several people who have been through the same thing, and it's kind of like one of those things like it hurts so much, and you feel like you're the only one going through it, and but there's so many people that go through it, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, Junior. Just he fell and he's scared. Sorry. But thank you. Your words really do mean a lot. I really appreciate that you've given me like a safe platform to like talk about it, because I haven't told anybody really. The only people who know are like close friends and family, and it was just I know I shouldn't be, but I felt like embarrassed almost. Like I don't know, like I felt like a failure. Like that's how I felt at the time. Now I feel a lot better, but yeah, it was a crazy thing to go through, especially by myself. Well, when I had been like married already for a while, and well, not that long, but I didn't get to see him, and I was already sad being away from him. But that was like the cherry on top. Like it just threw me over the edge and like knocked me off my feet. And I was in the military for like a good like couple years or year. Sorry, my bad. But it just wasn't for me. It's crazy to think about how you want something so bad, and then once you have it, it's just not a good fit. But yeah, I'm a lot better now, and it's something that I can talk about. Like, and it's surprising for me too, because this is like the first time I've talked about it to like, I guess now like publicly. So, yeah, this is like a big step for me too, and I'm not sad, and I don't have any bad feeling in my stomach about talking about it. Like it's just something that happened, and now I'm a lot better. So thank you, Noel, for this opportunity.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate it, and I'm honored that you felt comfortable enough to tell me. I think that's really cool. And I know what that feeling is like too. Like I've been through like traumatic experiences too, and it took me my whole life to talk about it, whether it was my sexuality or things when I was younger. And it's kind of those things that you want to block out of your memory, and you don't know like how to deal with it. But then you look back on it, like now it's been so many years. It's kind of like I thought I was never gonna make it through, but now I'm here and I'm happier, and I made it to the end. So I definitely do know what that feeling is like. And I know that what was I gonna ask you? Oh, that now you're married. I feel like that's a huge new thing in your life. Talk to me about how does it feel to be married?
Oh my gosh, being married is so awesome. So okay, so we obviously met in high school, and like I said, I was so set on joining the military, and he didn't know what he was gonna do. He was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go to college," or I think he said he just didn't know. And I told him, "Well, I'm gonna be in the military, and I don't know if that means like we should break up, or we should like I don't know, like what do you like? How are we gonna make this work?" And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just float by along. And then all of a sudden, he calls me and he's like, you know what? I called my uncle who was in the Marines, and he thinks I should join the Air Force with you. And I was like, okay, but then everybody's going to think that you just did it because of me. And he's like, oh, that's not true. And, you know, it kind of, eventually that's what ended up happening. And we joined together, and we were engaged when we both went in. But we found this, like, loophole, I guess, in Montana, where 2 active duty military members can get married through the mail. So we got married in Montana, but we've both never been to Montana. I know, it's like weird, but we had, in order for us to be put into the same place by the military, we have to have proof that we are legally married. So that's why we went with that route. He was in Texas at the time, and I was in Mississippi when we got married, but we got legally married in Montana. So a lot of people think that's really weird when they find out we got married through the mail. But I think it's kind of funny, and he jokes that I'm like his mail-order bride. But it's just a cringy joke.
Yeah. And I remember, are you guys planning a wedding? Are you planning to have like a ceremony one day? Like a full wedding?
Okay, I'm so glad you asked. I get off track so easily. But yeah, so we are actually, it was supposed to be, we wanted it to be 2022, but because of like COVID and just a bunch of like, we didn't even know that we were going to be in Guam when we really started planning our wedding. We pushed it back to like 2023, and I already have like a wedding dress set out. I already like know where I want it. I already know who I want there. And if I remember correctly, I do remember you asking if you could sing at our wedding. And if you're still up for it, I'd really love to have you sing at my wedding.
Of course. I completely forgot, but now I do remember. Of course, I'll be there. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. But yeah, we still have like the actual ceremony with family and friends that we want to do. But legally, we've been married since October 2018.
Wow, that is so great. But how does it feel? Like, I don't know, because I guess knowing you, last time I saw you being 18 and now, how old are you now? Are you 21?
Yeah, I'm
21. And now you're a married woman and you have a child, and like, it must be so crazy. Like, what is the first thing that comes to your head? Like, I don't know. Like, is it happiness, or it's hard to come up with a question that I want to ask you, but like, how does it feel to have your life like this, I guess?
So in my mom's words, she thinks that, you know, at first she was scared for me. She was scared for me to leave the house so young, to be married so young, and to have a kid so young. But after seeing how happy I am, she thinks it was just meant to be, like, that, like, this all happened for a reason. And I couldn't agree more. Don't get me wrong, I didn't like know this was all going to happen fast, but I'm so happy that it did, because I feel like my life is so much more complete with both of my Hugos in it. You know, as cheesy as that sounds. I did live away from Hugo for a year after high school, and that was the worst. Like, that was like torture. As like dramatic as that sounds, I just could not be away from him. So being married to him and being with him it just makes me feel complete, is the best way I can put it. And our baby makes me feel that much more complete. It's a big change, though, I will say.
Yeah. I can't even explain like how happy I am for you. Like, I could just see you, like how happy you look. I'm just like, wow. Like, you found happiness. That's so cool. I love that. And you were recently in town. I want to ask you about the flight. The flight from Guam to back over here. How was that flight?
Okay, so the flight was hell. I'm not even gonna lie.
And how was your son? Your son during the flight too.
Okay, so he was kind of thrown off because there's a 17-hour time difference. So he slept like the whole plane ride. The only thing that sucked was, having to change him on the plane because the tiny little bathrooms are so horrible. But Hugo did most of that. He did most of the dirty work, so I can't even talk about that. But the plane ride was, I want to say, if I fly through San Francisco, it's 14 hours, but that's not like including layovers and stuff. But the first time I flew out of Monterey, or flew into Monterey, and that ended up being like 24 hours, like in total. It was just crazy. And my son, he was really good. Even the flight attendants were like, oh my gosh, like, he's such a good baby. Does he fly all the time? And I was like, no, he's really good, I guess. Right now he's kind of rowdy because he wants me to play with him right now. So I promise he was better on the plane. But it was hard though, because we have to travel with like all his diaper bags and like his toys and keep him entertained. And we have to bring little snacks for him. Oh my gosh, we went through the airport and I brought in a juice box because I brought in apple juice and like crackers for him. And the TSA lady was like, we need to like test it for, we have to rip open the Capri Sun and test it for like, I forgot what they have to test it for, but she said they just needed to test it. But that means that they would have to rip open the package. And how am I going to repackage a juice box? So she's like, we can either do that or I have to pat you down in order to like make sure you can take all this stuff and make sure you have nothing on you. And I was like, okay, just pat me down because I'm not paying like $20 for a bottle of apple juice once we get through. So she pat me down in front of everyone. And the whole time I was thinking, am I really like getting pat down in front of everybody for like a Capri Sun right now? But yeah, that was pretty much my whole flight experience. At least they have movies on the plane, I watched Moana probably like 3 times, so my son would, be entertained.
I've had a very similar experience with flying. They always say don't bring liquids through the security and stuff. I literally filled up my hydro flask full of water. I'm like, yay. And they're like, sir, either you gotta chug that or you gotta dump it somewhere. I'm like, oh shit. So I had to dump it because I'm not chugging that. And then on this past trip coming back from Puerto Rico, I went through the security thing, the metal detector, and then it showed a little spot right here in my groin, right here. And they're like, sure, we have to pat you down there. I'm like, I swear to God, there's nothing there. And they're like, yeah, well, we still got to do it. It's our job. And I'm like, go ahead. And that's what they did. And do you get what's it called? Do you get jet lagged when you come back home?
So yes and no. I like feel exhausted just from the whole experience, but I don't feel jet lagged, and I've noticed neither does like Junior and I think that's because we've been on the plane so long, we've almost come full circle back to like a normal day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we've been on the plane so long that like a day has already passed to where we're going back to, and like we get there on the perfect time. So that's like a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wouldn't work for me because just the 4 hour time change with Puerto Rico, my sleep schedule is already messed up because I don't usually go to sleep that late. I'm usually in bed by 10 p.m., but the 4 hour time change in Puerto Rico when I'm there, it's like I feel like I don't get tired until like 2 in the morning. That's the kind of jet lag that I get. And but how was it? I saw that you celebrated, was this his first birthday party here? Or what was it?
Yes. So we came back to California for my son's first birthday. It was like small again because of freaking COVID. Anyways, but we wanted to be safe, so we had mostly family there and like a couple of like family friends. But yeah, it was his first birthday, and I really wanted to go all out. It was like a Octonauts theme. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like these little British sea animals. It's on Netflix, and my son loves it, so we threw him a little party, and it was really fun. It was fun seeing my family most of them met Junior for the first time, so that was really cool. He needed to meet family.
How often do you get to see your family?
So I FaceTime my parents like every day. Like I talk to them quite often, but in person it's probably like maybe like for about 2 months out of the year. I know that sounds like a lot, so it's not that bad. Like, we'll take a month off in the beginning of the year to go see them, and then, like, another month or half a month later around Christmas time to go see them again. So it doesn't feel that bad. We do spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love that. And I think I remember how much you love cats, right? Do you still love cats?
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy you said that. I don't know if you can hear my cat purring, but he's right here.
Oh, you have one.
Yeah. I have 2 cats. This is Chapito. He's really friendly. He wants to, like, see you. He's, like, trying to, like, look at what I'm doing. He's just a curious cat. And then Lechita is my other cat. She's shy, so she's, like, hiding.
I love these names. First of all, I love these names.
Yeah, people are so confused because, well, here in Guam, the people are Micronesian, or they're Chamorro, and their language sounds similar. It sounds so similar to Spanish because Spain conquered, their island too. So when I took my cats to the vet, they already knew, like, how to say their names, but it had a different meaning. So for Lechita, it means, like, a little milk cake.
Milk,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, instead of, like, little milk in Spanish, for their language, Lechita is, like, a little, like, milk, like, patty or something like that. So they thought we named her Milk Patty, and I was like, no, her name's not, like, Milk Patty. But it was interesting. Oh my gosh! Speaking of, am I allowed to, like, am I allowed to, like, curse on, like, this? Okay.
100%.
So there's a lot of, like, so we're really close to the Philippines, right? And there's a lot of Filipino families here, and I'm involved in a lot of, like, the animal rescue groups, like, trying to find them, or, like, fostering animals. I'm not, like, fostering animals right now, but whenever I see, like, kitten milk or whatever, I'll, like, go donate it. And anyways, so I'm in, like, all these Facebook group pages, and this person lost their kitten named Puto, which means, like, it means, like, the rice. It's like the rice dessert in the Philippines, right? Yeah, and so we were in Guam, and we see these, like, have you seen my little Puto? I miss him so much. And Hugo and I are just, like, we're, like, laughing because, we're being childish. And it's like, and they made, like, a whole Facebook group. It was on, like, the news in Guam, like, one of the little side stories, like, beloved family loses their little Puto. Please help them find it. And we were just dying. That was just a side story, but yeah.
Oh my god. I had a stuffed animal. I named him Pito. And I lost him, and I was looking around, like, I can't find Pito, I need to find Pito. And everyone was looking at me so crazy, like, why the would you name a stuffed animal Pito? I'm like, that's what I name him. You gotta get some unique names.
Exactly. See, they just don't understand.
Oh my god. I usually ask all of my guests about their favorite singers, favorite bands, genres. I want to know about your favorite kind of music. What do you like to listen to?
Oh my gosh, that's, like, hard. I like everything. Actually, that's not true. I'm kind of picky. Right now, I'm really into Grimes. I really like Grimes a lot.
Grimes?
Yeah.
Explain that.
I don't know, I just really like her music. It makes me feel like I'm in, like, a cartoon. Like a really fast cartoon. I don't know. But I love her music, and
I've never heard of her. Grime? I've never heard of her.
She's the one who had a baby with Elon Musk.
Oh, I know she is.
Yeah, Elon Musk's baby mama.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like her music, and I really like I like old hillbilly music because of my dad. So I whenever I miss him, I listen to, like, Willie Nelson. Oh my gosh, crazy story. I actually thought Willie Nelson, he's, like, this old country singer. I thought he was my grandpa when I was growing up because my dad never knew his dad, and he didn't want to tell me that. So he just told me that my grandpa was Willie Nelson, and we couldn't meet him because he was too busy touring, like making music. And he told me, like, we'd listen to songs, and he'd be like, the song's about you and me and like our family. Like he just tell me stuff like that. So up until I was like 12 years old, I really thought Willie Nelson was my grandpa, and people thought I was crazy.
Wow. It must be such a letdown when you find out. I love Willie Nelson. I love country music, so I definitely know who he is. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, awesome. But yeah, it was such a letdown. But people would be so confused. They'd be like, "What do you mean your grandpa's Willie Nelson?" As this like little Mexican girl is telling them my grandpa is Willie Nelson.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Before we finish up, I usually ask my guests if they have a question for me that they want to ask me before we finish up.
Yeah, I do have a question.
Cool.
Well, other than how have you been? How is like singing going for you? Because I've seen that you've been like, I don't know if you're like collabing with like other singers or like what's his name, John something. I don't know. I'm just curious. Like what's going on? Like, how's it going?
Well, the singing thing, it's funny you asked that because the singing thing is something that, where do I go with this? Okay, singing has been a part of my life since literally as long as I can remember. I've always loved to sing, but the difference is that some people are born with natural talent who can sing, and there are people who are not, and they have to really work hard and find their voice and learn their voice and really work on it, and I'm one of those people. I wasn't really born with a good voice. I had to work really hard to get to where I am today. Ever since I was like 11 to now, so like 10 years, been taking singing seriously, learning about it, about the voice. I know everything about the voice. Like I could teach a class. And I took so many classes in college of singing and piano and musical theater and Broadway, and I love to sing. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. It's the only thing that makes me happy. And when I started the YouTube channel, I started it because I needed kind of like an outlet. I needed a way to get all of my emotions out, a way to get all of my feelings out, which is why I kind of sing a bunch of ballads, a bunch of just piano songs, a bunch of sad songs, because that's my way of releasing myself, I guess. So that's why I started that. And the difference is that before I was looking at YouTube as a priority. Like I'm like, oh shit, I have to post this day. I got to post this day. I got to record. I was recording like 15 songs in one sitting. I'd like sing a song and then I'm like, okay, let's go to the next one and I'll sing that song. I wouldn't even take it seriously. I would just sing the song without even practicing. Now I'm at the point where I don't really care how often I post. I just want to sound good, and I work really hard on each song, memorizing the lyrics and the key and how I want to change it. So if you look now about my recent videos, I've really improved, and I just want to make every video the best that I can do. So that's the biggest thing that's changed with the singing part. And then the John Turi thing, I love John Turi. I cannot believe I'm friends with that guy. But I went to his studio one time and we got to meet each other, and then he helped me out with singing, and we had like a little music lesson. And I've been wanting to get him on the podcast. It's gonna work, but he's extremely busy. But I wouldn't say collaborate with him. He's a bit too professional for me. He freaks me out. But not a lot of collaborating. I have been writing a lot. I've always written songs. I've been writing like crazy because I've been so inspired. So I haven't really told anyone. I guess I'll tell you. I've been working kind of on a EP/album. I have a lot of things recorded here that I've been working on, songs that I've written and some covers. So that's that part about it. But yeah, singing, I still love it. I haven't forgotten about it. I know I'm always focused on the podcast. I'm always recording and editing and stuff. But singing, I'm always singing. Always, always, always. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Like I said, I'm so proud of you, and I can really see the difference in your voice from like old videos to now. And I think writing songs, like, that's really cool. Like, I'm really happy for you. We should sing for some time together. I don't know if I told you, but I used to sing when I was like younger. I'm not like the best at it, but we should like next time I come to California, we should like get together and like, I don't know, we should sing at each other.
I would love that. I love singing with other people. I didn't know you. Wait, you actually like sing? I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I was little, I wanted to nothing more than to be like a singer. So I did like a bunch of talent shows. I was in like a glee club. I was in a choir. Um, and then I kind of forgot about it as like I got older. And I think I'm okay. I'm not like the best. I'm not the worst. I think I'm okay. And I am a little shy, but when I'm comfortable around people, it's easy. And like I'm really comfortable around you. So we should sing together next time.
Wow, I'd be so honored. That's so cool. But I would never forgive North County for not having a glee club, no musical theater. Like, I remember going to North County and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to have my high school musical moment. I'm going to perform on a stage and sing. None of it ever happened. No singing clubs. There was just band, but I didn't really play any instruments. And I tried to do jazz band, but that didn't work out for me either. But I've always wanted to sing. I think I'm going to change my major to music. Right now it's psychology, but I was starting looking long term if it's actually going to make me happy, and it's really not. The only thing that makes me happy is singing, so I kind of have to tackle it and go for it, you know?
You totally should. If you out loud have said that in the long run that's what's going to make you happy, I think that's like your own confirmation. You know what I mean? Like that's your confirmation to yourself that you know you should go for it, tackle it.
Yeah, because success and a lot of money is completely different than happiness. You know what I mean? People try to be like, no, you got to make more money, you got to be successful, blah 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 blah. I'm like, but I'm not gonna be happy. So what's the fucking point about it? You know?
That's that you couldn't. Truer words have never been spoken. Happiness is like what it's why I feel like people work. Why people through all of that stuff. So if you can skip ahead and you already know what makes you happy, you don't have to search for it. That's perfect. Like you already have the answer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking a bunch of I sound like I want to be philosopher.
I love it. I love it. And all right, so I think we're done. We have good timing. I really appreciate you coming on. I don't want to take more of your day. I know you have to go model
Oh my God.
and be a mom and stuff like that. So, but yeah, thank you so much for coming on. This means a lot to me. It means the world to me, actually. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much. Well, I hope you don't mind. Can I tell Hugo that, we're finishing up? I know he really wanted to, at least say goodbye. So.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna stop recording now, and then we'll keep talking once I'm done with the podcast thing. Give me a second.
Okay.
Give me a second. Thank you guys so much for checking out Confabulate. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Love y'all.